have completed our chapters, we have completed our syllabus, and what we will do in our session is we're gonna start with the first chapter and revise everything. Um, not have it right now. Just give me a second. Okay, one more thing, Milan, वो तुम्हारा IRC वाला डाउट क्लियर हो गया?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, वो कंपलसरी है. अगर कोई और स्टूडेंट को अगर सेम डाउट है तो IRC आपको कंपलसरी या मैंडेटरी देना पड़ेगा. अगर आप नहीं देते हो तो आपको TCS ION में जाना पड़ेगा एक्चुअल एग्जाम देने के लिए. इट इज अ मैंडेटरी एग्जाम. इट इज समथिंग लाइक आपका वो रिसोर्स चेक करता है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड ऑल कि वो सब सही है कि नहीं है. जैसे आप क्यूब्स में बार बार मुझे या रचिता मैम को फोन करके प्रॉब्लम बताते थे, इसमें ऐसा नहीं होगा. इसमें सारी पहले से ही वो चेक कर लेंगे कि सब सही है कि नहीं है, तो ये आपको एग्जाम देने देंगे एक्चुअल एग्जाम. तो IRC टेस्ट इज मैंडेटरी. ऑल राइट. So first chapter we have covered up as mobile computing, as an overview, as an introduction to mobile computing. So now there is a definition here, is a computing environment over physical mobility. Now it's just a definition here, one single line definition. You cannot write the single line definition in your 4-mark question. If someone asks you what is mobile computing, explain in brief. So you need to explain it in a very precise manner. So can anyone tell me a precise manner of this mobile computing definition? How can you explain anyone that these are the keywords by which you can define mobile computing? Anyone in the class who can define this? You can write the whole, not at least 2 or 3 lines. I need to do not share the screen, otherwise you will get everything and then. Okay. So now just tell me, what do you understand? A need of mobile computing, advantage and disadvantage. All right. Okay. Any other thing that you can add here? Okay. So it is a kind of computing process where a user is not fixed or his devices are not fixed. He is moving continuously from one location to another location. Without the constraint of this location, he is able to get the network, is something called as mobile computing. And all the process by which this information is passed from one location to another location, that kind of computing is known as mobile computing. So the user of a the user of a mobile computing environment will be able to access data, information, or logical object from any device and any network while on a move. This is something like you can write, and Haley has said that you can precisely write the advantage and disadvantage as well, which is good. Another thing is, the next thing we had discussed is something called as advantage and disadvantages. You see, the advantages are, the first one is availability. The meaning of availability is the system and its services in mobile computing, they are completely available 24 cross 7. You see, any service that you are using, just like SMS, it is not like it's failure and it is not coming to your mobile. Maybe something happened to your SMS portal, but it is not like weeks, months, or years. It'll take a minuscule time, and then it will come back to its uh, original position, and then it will send and receive the SMS from one end to another end. So it gives you the 24 cross 7 services. That's why we have availability as an advantage in mobile computing. We also have location flexibility as an advantage, which says that user can move from one location to another location if he is having a portable device such as handheld device, laptop, or any mobile phone, uh, which is going to help to a person who is living outside of his location, I mean home location. So if a person is from India but he shifted to London for some kind of work, then he still can connect to the Indian people with the help of these portable devices such as mobile phone, handheld devices, or any other. Right? That's why we have location flexibility as an advantage. The third advantage is increased productivity, which says that as your mobile computing allows to be available all the time, that's the first advantage. Any idea about mid to term end? Mid to term end, still we didn't get. Yesterday we got some idea about GTO, I think. So maybe 1 or 2 days they're gonna maybe announce something about mid to or term end, because now somehow the dates are revealing. So might be 1 or 2 days you will get some idea about it. So the third advantage here, increased productivity. Uh, as you can see here that there is a first availability as an advantage. So a mobile computing person, um, a mobile computing allows to be available all the time, and which will give you as an end result as high rates of engagement. Why? Because it is not something like a factory kind of thing, like at 6 o'clock I need to pack up everything. It is a 24 cross 7 ongoing running service. I can use anytime, anywhere, right? That's why it will increase the productivity of any organization or any company. So there are high rates of engagement in that way. So application developed in Android, which is a kind of example that we had discussed. The fourth advantage of mobile computing is cost effective. How cost effective? As employee doesn't have to go to any office or any location. He can be at his home and can work the same thing as he is doing in his company. So just like work from home. So that will reduce the overhead cost. Okay, and that's why we have fourth advantage as cost effective. So here you can see no need of equipment for an employee. So a computer desk or any other resources from a company, user doesn't have to use it. He can use his own thing at his home, right? And what kind of disadvantage is we are having in mobile computing? The first disadvantage is a connectivity issue. Uh, you see, the problem is in the access point. Now it has been said that there is a access point which gives you connection. So if this is my access point, then this access point has some range. Okay, so might be this is a boundary to which it can give you signals. It can broadcast everything to the users who are sitting in this boundary. But the problem is, as a particular user moves from this boundary, out of this limited boundary, and sits here, then it is somehow not possible for his device to connect to this access point, and it is somehow not possible for this access point to give connection to this mobile device. So as because we have something called as RSSI, which is a radio signal strength indicator, which is not that high, I mean, for a commercial use. So connectivity issue is going to be a problem, that some area does not covered up by the access point and reasonably no network. So if a person who is sitting over here and in surroundings in this so-called area, if there is no access point available, there is no access point, then this person is completely vulnerable to not to get any service, not to get any network, right? So this is the problem. This is the one disadvantage. The second disadvantage is power consumption. And this power consumption, we had also discussed it. It's something like this: if there is an access point here, and if a person who is very near to the access point, and if he is having a mobile device with him, then the if he is very near to the access point, then his mobile uh, does not have to take so much of battery to find the signal, because he is very near to it, right? So it will not consume that much of battery power. But suppose if a person is on a move now, this person is on a move in a car or something else, and now this person is not in this region. Now he is at this particular region. Then what will happen that his mobile is will going to take so much of battery power to get this signal. Okay, ultimately it is not explicit thing, it is implicit thing. You're never gonna see that, but you will definitely see those signals of your battery, that it is going uh, I mean lesser and lesser. Okay, the marks are lesser and lesser, and then you can see that your battery is consuming this signal resources, because ultimately the aim of this mobile device and the aim of the card which is there inside the mobile device, which is PCMCIA card, his work is to find this signal from the access point. And definitely if he wants to find something, then he's gonna use the battery. So your battery is not going to be reduced here, but your battery is going to be reduced here. Okay, the consumption is going to be high here, because you are very far from one access point. Might be a chance if there is an access point here sitting available, then your battery consumption is low, something like this. But if it is not there, then your battery is going to be discharged quickly. This is the second disadvantage. And the third disadvantage we have, you see that cellular network, the whole thing is using wireless network. And mostly if you are dealing with any wireless network, then there are so many attacks available. And the most common attack is the man in the middle attack, or any kind of a sniffing attack. We can perform authentication and authorization on go. uh, if if all the resources are on a cloud, that I can do something like DDoS attack or something like that. So there are many security overlapping problems if my infrastructure is using wireless network, because wireless is not having any medium. So if there is no medium, it is somehow impossible for a network administrator to find the problem. So there is a security loophole also in the disadvantage. So do you find any problem in four advantage and three disadvantages? Any issue in this? Uh, okay. Okay. So the next thing is till now this question, the advantage and disadvantage, it could be asked like in 6 marks or in 4 marks, like in a complete composite question, such as define mobile computing in brief and explain the advantage and disadvantages. So you cannot write something like availability, location, flexibility, productivity, cost effective. This will not give you the full marks, not even not even like half marks. But you need to explain the whole availability thing here, right? So if you are giving a point as availability, you need to explain the advantage in a brief manner. The same thing is going to be happen with your disadvantage. You need to explain it in a very brief manner. Right? Then you will get a 6 mark whole, 4 marks whole. Uh, the next topic is on the wireless. I mean the evolution of wireless network, and basically your MCQ questions, multiple choice question or one liner question, can be there from this complete topic, this wireless beginning. So we have a year of 1947. There is a research lab, AT&T labs, and the researchers were having a prototype of an idea called as cellular network. They do not have any. They have fixed networks such as ARPANET and all, but they do not have any idea on cellular network. But they are trying to build it. But the prototype is for their own benefit. Okay, they are just creating for some private organization and not for commercial purpose. So idea is that let's create small service areas, and let's name it. So they build something called as cells, which is an hexagon structure. Uh, I hope you now know there is cell, which is an hexagonal structure, which is a theoretical shape, not a practical shape. We will discuss that thing in our second chapter. But the idea is to create small cells, and inside the cell, let's create some infrastructure. Okay, let's put some MSC and all kind of stuff of cellular network. So to have these cells, they also need some kind of frequencies and all, right? The complete bandwidth and all. So this AT&T labs, I think it is in US or somewhere. So they need to take the permission. So there is a Federal Communication Commission, which is FCC, a US based company. So he said we will provide you the radio spectrum. Okay, so they will give you the bandwidth and all to this AT&T labs. Uh, this FCC is very similar to that of our TRAI, which is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, which gives you the, not you, but the mobile operators, Vodafone, Idea, Videocon. I do not know Videocon exist or not, Geo and all. This TRAI gives you the complete radio spectrum to these mobile operators. Then mobile operator will give you the frequency in your mobile. So FCC had told them we will give you. Let's do this cellular network. So AT&T Labs had created two networks earlier in the 90s, I guess, A-nets and B-nets. And A-nets is working on 160 megahertz, specifically meant for outgoing calls. So I can call to someone. There is a B-nets, which is an other version, work with 160 megahertz again, but that is for incoming calls. So basically, they had created two networks, one for outgoing and one for incoming. So they have two different infrastructure for both things, like outgoing and incoming. Then in the same years, not in the same century, I mean, the 73 we have Motorola first mobile handset comes up. Then 77, in 1977, AT&T Labs had had created something like a cellular network for public. So they now want to make it commercially available to the public. In 1983, the first American commercial analog cellular service, which is being introduced for the people, known as Advanced Mobile Phone Service. It is the first cellular network service for mobile. Before that, we do not have any kind of mobile network. This is the first cellular network created by AT&T Labs and given to the public. Now, in this, there might be a question from here. There might be a question from here, or there might be a question from here. Remember that there are 3 or 4 possibilities of MCQs. So remember this. And then later, what will happen that once US had created AMS, then alternative cellular network had been created by each and every nation, such as India had introduced something, Japan has introduced something, Europe is the very competitive in nature, and they had created something very special cellular network. Remember, Europe the whole continent is very very competitive in nature. I mean, it's not US which is a superpower. I mean, they definitely have some technology and all, but the whole research, complete research on this globe, that is very highest in terms of numbers and all, it is there in Europe. Okay, they are the high oriented research guys, and they have a very minuscule research. I mean, very high competitive research they are having. So in the market we have M's, but there are alternative phones comes up in the whole world. So now what will happen is, as each country coming up with their cellular system, cellular network, such as India and Europe and Japan and China, and they all are creating their own cellular network. So what happens is the incompatibility generates. What do you mean by incompatibility? Means a mobile subscriber for of a one network. I mean, if he is in Japan and now he shift from Japan to maybe Poland, then with that same cellular structure, with that same cellular system, he cannot call anyone in the Poland, because he need to change that cellular system. He need to be with the Poland cellular system. Okay, he need to take that. So this incompatibility generates, so a mobile subscriber of one network cannot use the same device in another network in another country. The very biggest problem comes up as an incompatibility. So remember, a question comes from here as well. So to resolve this incompatibility, what happens? These are European guys have created a standard for mobile phone technology, and we call it as a CEPD, which is a Conference of European Post and Telegraph, which later been converted into something called as GSM, which is a Group Spatial Mobile. Earlier the name it was, but now it has been changed from Group Spatial Mobile to Global System for Mobile Communication, which is known as GSM network. And now you had seen that a person who is sitting in America can take a phone from India, and he can contact to you. Okay, he do not need to change the complete cellular system. Might be possibility that he need to change the card and all, but he can still work. Okay, I mean, he need to change the number, but in the same network. Okay, he do not need to change any kind of network there. So we have this evolution of wireless network. Do you have any problem in this topic? Any do not know. Do you have any doubt or not? But okay, and so after the beginning of a wireless network, we have a topic as data. So we have a network of wireless, but we do not have a data. I mean, efficient data sending technology. So we have here 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G. So first generation comes up, and this first generation says that I'm gonna use an analog technology, but because that digital technology didn't come at 1947 or 1977, we do not have that kind of research at that particular time. We have electric form. Everything is in electric form only. So at that time we had used analog technology. We are using frequency division multiple access, and the example is amps. So it's a first cellular network. And after that we have so much of rigorous research comes up, and then we move on to second generation network. I do not know, have you have used second generation network or not, but it is not like it is from uh, I was in seventh, so seventh is 2000 and uh, maybe 5 or 6. If you're having 2005, 5 or maybe 8 or 6, at that time, this second generation comes up in a very fluent manner. Uh, okay, so this comes up in that time. It's a There is no use. I mean, the internet connection is poor, very very poor. For one website to load, it takes almost 1 minute, and it's very hard to, I mean, connect with your mobile phone. I mean, you cannot use internet in your mobile. However, you can use in your computers your fixed connection, but it was not that very efficient. In mobile, it's very slow. Okay, so the first second generation comes up as in GSM with a 10 kbps of speed for voice data rate, which was very very small and it's not very useful. Then we change a technology as in code division multiple access. Again, give you the same speed, but the CDMA used for error detection and in resolving interference problem, and that's why we have used the CDMA. And precisely, we have another thing comes up as a 2.5 generation GPRS, which gives you a kind of speed of approximately 50 kbps, and people are now more oriented towards internet. They can use internet in their mobile phone. So there was a time in 2000, I think 2009 or 10, we have Chinese mobile. So there is a craze of Chinese mobile, that keypad one, the red color phone. If you had remember this Carbon and all, if you had seen more this company Micromax and all, they had created this low end phone like 3000, 2000 rupiah handset. uh, there you had seen 50 kbps of it, and they are giving that kind of internet. And the technology was a GPRS. um, it's a global positioning radio subsystem, I think. But other thing is, it's very slow. I mean, 50 kbps, you still cannot load a complete website in a very good time. Still, it will take some time. So to resolve it, we comes up with a new general packet radio service. Yeah, we come up with a new technology as an edge technology, and this is E. If you had remembered your mobile phone, there is a E symbol comes up uh, in your in your signal. So it gives you 200 kbps, and now it's a good speed. I mean, still we are working on this speed only. If you are having 3G connection or 4G connection, still sometimes you had seen 200 kbps in your internet connection, and this speed is reliable. I mean, uh, with this speed you can download something. So people had start downloading now in a frequent manner, so they can download movies and all in their mobile while connecting your mobile phone with your laptop or computer. So this is 2.5G, which gives you some good connection. Here for 25 MB of a file to download, it almost take like 15 to 20 minutes to download it, right? But this downloading speed will reduce to some extent here in 200 kbps. Then we have a nice technology as 3G, which will comes up with an Android phone. So it is started from 2012 and onwards, 12 maybe 11 or 12. There is a craze of third generation network with an Android phone. So we have different technologies for that, and gives you a very soothing speeds here, 384 kbps and 5 to 30 mbps. Um, well, you see this 5 to 30 mbps, if you want this kind of speed, you need a hardware for that. Very, very, very good hardware for that. So this is like very expensive and all. They have good technologies as WCDMA and UMTS, which is wideband code division multiple access, and UMTS is Universal Mobile Telecommunication Standard. Uh, they are for error detection and error correction. Therefore, you are getting speeds like 384 kbps. We have HSDPA and HSUPA, which is for uplink and downlink packet. That's why we have good 5 to 30 Mbps of speed there. Uh, then we comes to 4G network, specifically for LTE long-term evaluation, which gives you this kind of speed. I mean, it is written, but you never get this kind of speed. It is like if you are in NASA, you will get this kind of speed. If you are in ISRO, you will get this kind of speed. Well, I do not. I mean, if you go to ISRO, they in the lab section they have 4 computers, and in the 4 computer, only single computer has an internet connection, very good internet connection, but only one computer has an internet connection. Other 3 computers are specifically for coding only. So if someone has some problem, they can find the solution in the internet. They generally do not rely on Stack Overflow and all. They have forums. I mean, they have intranet forums. So they never contact to any internet kind of thing. They are very good at coding. I mean, very good at. They have a C embedded programming in C, and I have seen their code. I mean, it's nothing but nested for and nested while and nested. I mean, looping. There is a nested looping. So, I mean, you will get confused if you see. It's like I almost had seen 1,000 to 1,200 pages of code, which is very, I mean, nasty code. If you, I'll show you sometime if I get chance. Okay, so we have two specific technology as a LTE and WiMAX connection. WiMAX is a worldwide interoperability for microwave access, which is 100 to 200 Mbps of speed you are getting. We had understood these, not these technology, but WiMAX at least we had understood in our 8th chapter, which is worldwide interoperability for microwave access. Then we have a table that what connection and what service you are getting. So if you are having 2G and 2.5G, then you will get then specifically it is for voice and data. If you're having 3.5 and 3G, then it is specifically for voice, data, and video call. And you know that if you are using 4G, then it is precisely for online gaming. So if you are a streamer, then you had seen that you need a very good speed to precisely stream. So CSGO, PUBG, and all you are playing. I mean, there is one more game, Valorant or something like that. I do not remember, but people are crazy with those kind of games, Call of Duty and multiplayer. So this is a basic introduction to generation of network as an evaluation of wireless network. Do you find any problem in this? Okay. After this, we have understood this. What do you call this type of mobility? And in types of mobility, we have 6 types. I think 7 types. 6 types. The 6 types of mobility we have. First is user mobility, which is very simple to understand, which says that user can now move from one physical location to another physical location with the same device. So here is an example that a person who is in London and he's moving from London to New York and uses internet to access company's application the same way in London. Okay, so जैसा वो लंदन में एक्सेस करता था company's application को with the network, the same way he can access the company's application in New York as well. The second mobility shows it is a network mobility, which means a user move from one network to another and uses the same service. So a very good example is if he is using, if he is in India and he is using uh, WhatsApp with a Vodafone network, then if he is now shifting to New York, then he can change Vodafone to Idea and use the same WhatsApp application. So that's why we have network mobility. So user move from one network to another and uses the same service. Here is the example: user move from London to New York, uses GPRS in London. Now in New York, uses GSM to access the same service with the same device, right? So you can change the network according to the location, but using the same service, right? The third mobility is a bearer mobility. What do you mean by bearer? Bearer is it's a restriction. So if you are in a North Korea, I guess, so you cannot use any kind of internet, then people are going to use alternative network, such as their own network. So what is bearer mobility is user can move from one bearer to another bearer and using the same service. So if I give you an example here, it is a good example being given that if in India you are using WhatsApp with some network, it is okay. But now you are shifting to New York, and New York says that you cannot use WhatsApp here. But still, the aim is aim is messaging, right? You want to connect to some other person. So instead of WhatsApp, you can use SMS. Okay, so still I can connect to my people with the with this kind of messaging service. WhatsApp is also a kind of messaging service. SMS is also kind of messaging service. So if one service has been restricted to some location, I can use an alternative one. So bearer is this. Then we have a device mobility, and device mobility is a user can move from one device to another device and using the same service. What do you mean by that? If there is a web portal, if a person is working on a company like 9 to and using the web portal on the company's desktop, right? In the daytime. Now if there is a work pending, he can come to his home at around 7 o'clock, and likewise, he can use the same web portal by his laptop at his home, right? So this is a kind of device mobility. You are changing the devices. So desktop in the company and the laptop in the home. Session mobility says the session going to be resumed, start or ended in your browser, just like Firefox. I had given you an example. If there are 3 tabs available right now, if you close your browser one more time, if you start your browser after some time, you will see that it will ask you that can I restore 3 tabs which were earlier opened. It's something like session mobility. Service mobility means says to use one service, you need another service, right? Suppose you need to create or you need to write a mail, that is a service one. For that, you need to open another service, which is a browser, right? So this is a service mobility. So we have 6 types of mobility. Generally, this comes in 6 marks question. So prepare it that way. Okay, so take the attendance, and later on we will discuss. Uh, okay, 1667 Parth, 17:1, 17:6, 17:6 Genal, 17:8, 17:9, 8, 12, 17, 18, 19, 26, 33, 34, 37,
Present, sir.
241. Nish 45. Oh, sorry. 48. Umesh 49. 60. Hitvi 62. 63. 66. Oh, I'm sorry. I think he is present. He had having IELTS exam. 67. Nishant 69. 72. 73. 74. 76. 77.
That's from
79.
77.
Okay, 77. 80. Ronak 82. 85. 86. Akshita is not present. 87. Tumin 91. Meet 100. Yash Kumar. Okay, Meet 107. Sonal 108.
Sir, 100 present.
100 present. 100 हो गया है. 112 Vicky. 113 Keval. 114 Archan. 119 Yug. 120 Palak. 121 Karan.
Present, sir.
124. 126. 127. 129. 130. 134. 135. Yogesh. 136. 145. 164. 190. 05 Mehul. 010 Mohit Giri. 016 Sagar and Haley. Sagar is present. 01 is present. ये हिरल ये हर्ष उसका कोई अपडेट हो तो प्लीज मुझे बताना. ओके Okay, thank you so much guys. I'll see you in the next session.